Welcome to the Green Door Life. My name is Shannon Morse, and I'm here today with Erika Fisher, my lovely friend and colleague, as we've done lots of projects together around integrating yoga into a full body health and wellness practice. And so I'm here with Erika today to talk not only about how she's bringing her expertise of yoga into our newest Chrysalis event, but also how yoga is supporting her throughout practicing shelter in place. So welcome, Erika.
Thank you.
And so as you're going through this process with your family and practicing shelter in place, how has yoga supported you, or has it in this time?
Oh my gosh. Well, it has supported me tremendously every day. And I've actually found that I've been able to practice a lot more these days because the way that I've been teaching has changed so much with this kind of transfer towards a more virtual teaching, because we can't be together, which I missed so much. But because I'm teaching virtually, I'm also practicing in the same space, teaching and practicing. So it's kind of changed in that way. So I've been practicing a lot, and it's been the saving grace, I think, of not just my own mental health, but also my family's mental health. Because let's face it, being stuck in a home together on top of each other is challenging, I think, for us all. So yes, it's been really challenging. We've had really hard days. We've had our struggles, and we've kind of had moments where we wanted to kill each other. And for me, coming back to practice, coming back to my seat, coming back to breath, coming back to just being able to be quiet and having my own space on my mat has been everything. So I've been so appreciative of that time because it's been keeping me together. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. When I took your first live Facebook class, I think it was maybe day 3 or 4 of shelter in place. And at that time, there was such heightened anxiety happening throughout everywhere. It felt like it was just really, really hitting us all. And I remember taking your yoga class and going, oh my gosh, this is so much what I needed right now, just because I felt like that grounding and that calm that was not available from what I could tell before. Yeah. So I see it as such like all of these practices, whether it's yoga or breath work or meditation or getting on a run outside or doing a puzzle with your family, it's like whatever it looks like to get you grounded and out of that sense of anxiety and fear is so powerful. And you are such an eloquent teacher. The way that you present is so easy and clear to understand, and I really appreciate that. So as we're moving into kind of like what your history has been, like where did you come from in terms of your yoga practice? Like how did that evolve over a period of time?
Yeah, I started when I was 22, so I'm 33 now. So I started when I was 22, and I actually was introduced to yoga through hot yoga, through Bikram yoga, which is very different than what I primarily practice today, but it's kind of like the gateway yoga drug, which I think a lot of people kind of find their way through the Bikram door. And it's great, right? Whatever brings you to that place of, oh, this is something, right? So I kind of, that sparked my interest. And as a 22-year-old in an extremely transitional period in my life, I was going through some big shifts and changes, and lots of stuff was up in the air, and there was a lot of uncertainty. And for me, my yoga practice really quickly became that thing that I felt safe. I felt safe in, and I just felt, like you said, that sense of groundedness that I was not getting anywhere else. And at that point, I didn't even really know what that meant, but I did know that I just felt better. I inevitably felt better after 90 minutes, however long class was. I felt like this cathartic kind of sense of well-being. And over time, as my practice kind of grew and became more serious, my interests changed, and I realized I was on a totally different career path. I'd majored in all these different things, and it was kind of always what I realized was that I was majoring in things that I thought that other people, that I should be majoring in. Other people had wanted me to kind of, in my mind, had wanted me to pursue these careers, and it wasn't really what I wanted. And I realized one day after taking a class that I really loved this yoga thing, and I really loved the community and the studio. And I didn't love so much being in school at the time I was in school for nursing. I didn't love that. And I just asked myself one day, well, why am I doing this? Why do I feel the need to pursue this other thing when it's not really what I want to do? And I'm really loving this yoga situation. And I realized like that was what I needed to be doing. I'd found so much joy and peace within myself over the course of developing this yoga practice. And that was kind of what sparked my inspiration and drive to become a teacher myself, because it had been so pivotal in transforming my inner landscape of how I felt about myself, of how I viewed the world. So I kind of tabled this other path, and tabled as in like never looked back, and pursued this career as a yoga instructor. And it's interesting, like I started as a Bikram teacher many years ago, and that was kind of like the thing that I thought that I would always do. And over the course of the years, my interests have completely changed, and I've pursued multiple trainings in other modalities, and vinyasa yoga and meditation and breath work. And there's definitely nothing wrong with Bikram. There's nothing wrong with, other modalities. It's just interests change. And I think that you change, right? Like my interests in yoga have become much broader for me, and teaching vinyasa yoga is really where I've landed and found a home and been able to express myself creatively and scratch that itch that I wasn't really getting before. And I think like with this shelter in place, and like tensions are high, and yoga and sitting quietly, it's almost like there's no excuse, right? Like you could take a seat anywhere and just take 3 big deep breaths. And my guess would be, because this is very true for me, is that my mood, my perspective is almost instantly shifted, right? If I'm feeling frustrated at my 5-year-old, I take a step back, I take a couple big deep breaths, and then I can come back and deal with whatever's happening in front of me. And more often than not, that works for me. So yeah, I think that my yoga practice has changed, it's grown, but the thing that stayed the same is that it's been a huge part of my life. And I'm just, as a teacher, I'm so grateful to be able to share that with other people and maybe facilitate some shift for someone else, and to guide them through that journey, and for it to be whatever it is for them. So, yeah.
So good. And can you imagine, okay, I have 2 questions for you. First one, can you imagine what it would be like going through this period of time without your yoga practice?
No. Well, so I think, so for me, it's not just yoga, right? For me, I need to move. So it's yoga. It's also like walking, like I need to get outside. It's all these things. Like I am just a mover and a shaker, and I need these things in my life to maintain my sanity. And thank God we can still go outside. Thank God we can still I can still move my body. And so no, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't able to practice and to just get some sort of endorphin release, because those are the things that save me on a daily basis.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I feel you. And so, second question, if you were to design your ideal shelter-in-place day, what would that consist of?
I actually just had it the other day. And this might sound terrible if you're a parent, but just stay with me. And if you were to ask me tomorrow, the answer might have been different. But I would probably. So the other day I had this day. I practiced for an hour. And then I got in my car, I drove to a mountain, I hiked for 5 hours, for probably 3-4 hours. I got like some takeout, I ate it in my car, and then I went home. But I had this full day of just like alone time. I had practiced by myself. I went hiking by myself. It was beautiful. I ate like a really yummy meal in my car, and it was quiet. And then I went home and I was able to have my family time. So it was like this beautiful balance, maybe a little bit imbalance, more me time. There was lots of me time in there. But I think like in the space that I am now, which is constantly being around my family, like that, I need time by myself. Like that to me is just so important as an introverted extrovert. The time that I have by myself is how I charge my batteries. So a perfect shelter in place day would probably be some time alone and some time with family. But having some balance of the two is perfect. There's not a lot of that happening right now. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Why right now, on the back of being with family day in, day out,
3 weeks. Yeah.
there would be some solid alone time in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless if you have a family, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I love it. Okay, well, thank you so much for being on this little interview so that people can kind of get to know you when they're going to look at joining the Chrysalis event. And I'm so excited for this event. And we'll all see you there.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.